What's happening, guys? Silent Mike, Super Training Gym, Mark Bell's Powercast, Reebok1.com, HowMuchYouBench.net. The list keeps growing. The group keeps growing. We ain't gonna stop. We're taking over the world 2016.
What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Make sure to subscribe to Mark Bell's Powercast on iTunes. Make sure to subscribe below. Little question and answer, guys, from the Instagram. Flat versus heel shoes for a wide stance squatting.
Hang on. Now, bitch!
Seeing more people use ollie shoes who squat fairly wide, what's your take? My take is, very generally speaking, because all these are going to be vague until I see you squat or I coach you for a little bit, but the wider the stance, often the harder it is to hit depth. Our only goal for the Olympic shoe, the squatting shoe, is to allow us to hit depth a little bit better because of possibly calf flexibility, ankle mobility, and then hip mobility. So if you can't hit depth with the wide squat, but you're more comfortable or stronger in the wide squat, then I'll definitely try a heel. I also have my boy Hulk Smash, Adam Rodriguez, amazing squatter, great form, powerful kid, squats quite wide, very upright, pretty mobile, and he's in flat. So there's obviously going to be an example of all styles, no matter where you go, but it depends on you. And sadly, the only answer is going to be trial and error. How often do you front squat? Me personally, I don't front squat at all. Something with my hips or maybe my form sucks, but every time I try to implement front squats, which I have done probably for 3-month blocks here and there through my career. Through my career, I have front squatted, but lately I don't. Something with my hips get a little jacked up and I get some pain in my back. When I'm coaching others, depending on their weakness, I'll typically have people front squat once or twice a week in their off season. It's a great method to train your core, train you to be more upright, keep that thoracic spine strong, and also obviously overload your quads, which can greatly carry over to both the deadlift and the squat. Where did the name Silent Mike come from? If you don't know that by now, I don't believe you guys watch What the Hell I Do. Watch the YouTube videos of the previous guys. I do appreciate the support, but make sure to check all the previous vids, man. I'm putting them out hardcore. I'm putting them out hardcore on Mark's channel, Super Training 06. We're fucking pumping out content. Our stories are out there, the podcast. There's a lot of info, hours of info coming out a week. I'm doing 3 or 4 videos. Mark's doing 4 to 5 videos, plus an hour-long podcast a week. There's a lot of shit. We're working really hard to put out the content, so make sure you go watch it rather than just, and this is just an example of where my name came from, but for tons of information on tons of different topics. When do you think you're gonna pull 700 pounds? I think I'm gonna pull 700 pounds within the next 6 months. Right now it's about February, beginning of March, so within the next 6 months, I hopefully will pull 700 pounds right here on the YouTube below. Subscribe to see that bitch coming. Would you rather be a dinosaur or a giant gorilla? It's kind of an odd question because you're not very specific, because dinosaur is like a type of creature and a giant gorilla is a exact creature, kind of like Donkey Kong, but a dinosaur, there's a million different dinosaurs. Do you mean like Godzilla? Do you mean like the T-Rex in fucking Jurassic Park? If I had to choose, I'd probably want to be a giant gorilla. They're very strong. They got long fucking arms. They look kind of dope. They're jacked. They got big pecs and big abs. When going for an AMRAP, should you fail on the last rep or stop once form is broken? It depends on your goals. Maybe if your goals are more bodybuilding, which I'm a little less experienced in, but if you want to just thrash yourself on an AMRAP, maybe go to failure, or you can even do force reps here and there, even though I don't often suggest that even for aesthetics, hypertrophy, or bodybuilding. In powerlifting, I'm a big fan of always saving at least 1 to 2 in the tank unless you're at a meet. Yes, stop when your form breaks down. I like to train always with perfect form. How should behind the neck press be programmed in, and do they replace regular overhead, or are they a lighter accessory? To be honest, I don't do behind the neck press, and I don't program it. I haven't used it often. If you have the mobility, it's an exercise you use. I would suggest probably going a little bit lighter, even though guys like Ed Cohn,
It looked easy. Didn't feel easy.
and some powerlifting beasts of the past, probably Bill Kazmaier, some studs, have done it heavy and had a lot of success. I personally haven't, but I would throw it in instead of a front press because it's going to work very similar muscles. But I would definitely start light as an accessory to build up that capacity. How do you start using hook grip for deadlifts? I think just practice, man. I don't really do it, so I'd watch maybe some weightlifting techniques on how to do it, and then I would just start light and start practicing. Snapback advice. I would check Reebok.com and MitchellandNess.com. That's that secret shit. That's the real snapbacks. They like started snapbacks. Check Mitchell and Ness. Opinion on creatine. I think creatine's been studied. I think it's pretty well known through the industry, through many people, that it is and can be helpful if taken on the long term in small 5 gram servings, that it can help a small percentage over a long period of time. I personally do not take it just because I'm lazy. That's the honest truth. I forget to take it. Tips for nutritional diet on a budget. Maybe I'll go shopping sometime and give you guys a little more in depth on the cooking, nutritional shopping side of things. I am throwing up some cooking videos, so make sure to check those out because those are easy things to cook with not complicated recipes or complicated ingredients, so it might be cheap. Is Chipotle really your life? Chipotle is not my life, but I love Chipotle.
Oh my god, I love Chipotle. Chipotle is my life.
If so, what's your go-to meal? My go-to meal is burrito, black beans, white rice, double meat, whether it be chicken or steak, depends on my mood, and then mild salsa, medium salsa, lettuce. That's it. Hoes ever be loyal? I doubt it, man. Hoes ain't never loyal. Ways to fix a forward bar path in the squat. Often a forward bar path, if you're getting tipped forward, maybe you're using Olympic shoes and you don't need to. Maybe it is a calf ankle mobility issue, but it also may be you just need to push your hips backwards. Often people, when they're doing stiff legs or talking about a hip hinge, they drop their chest to the ground, but that's not what we want to do, is we want to push our hips back almost behind our midline. Imagine right over your midfoot, there's a midline if you're standing sideways. Dropping your chest forward won't help. Pushing your hips backwards is what we're aiming for to keep that bar over our midfoot. If you're squatting a little bit more upright, then your hips are hopefully going to go straight down and the bar will go straight down with them right on top of your midfoot. But otherwise, if you're getting pitched forward, you need to work on pushing those hips back. So practicing something like a good morning, practicing something like a stiff leg deadlift, things of that nature will allow you to hip hinge a little bit better and hopefully get you a better position for that squat. When testing a 1 rep max at a competition, how lenient are you for letting your form slip? I still always try to lift with good form because I think me practicing and lifting with the best form in turn allows you to lift the most amount of weight. So not only is form safest, but form allows you to lift the most amount of weight. So that's the goal with good technique. We're not just trying to be safe. It's not just like shitty form allows you to be strong. Good form allows you to be safe. They both work together. So the better your form is, the more volume you can handle, the safer you will be, and the stronger you will be in the long term. So even with my 1 rep maxes at a meet, I'm always trying to use the best form possible to lift the most amount of weight. So yes, there could be breakdown, especially in beginners. There will be breakdown. Is it going to kill you? No. Does your risk of injury go up a little bit? Yes, it does. But I always try to lift with the best amount of form, the most amount of volume I can throughout my whole training session. So then when the 1 rep max comes, training cycle, so the 1 rep max comes, I'm ready and prepared to do that perfectly. That's it for this one, guys. Like that bitch, share that bitch. Make sure to subscribe to that bitch. I'm out of here, guys. More Q&As coming soon.